Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information, or follow the link in the description below. And as this is 90 after 90, I want to thank our sponsors, Cosmetic Repair Solutions, an independent award-winning network of vehicle accident repair centres located in Chesterfield, Rotherham, Dinnington, Barnsley and Derby. Visit the website to find out more or get an estimate at cosmeticrepair.co.uk.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Of the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? What is happening, Blades? Welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy. This is 90 after 90. Up to 90 minutes after the 90 minutes of football. We don't have to go 90 minutes tonight. I'll understand it if you don't want to. But by the same token, you might want to. You might want to just vent and go. And look, for those that don't know what's happened tonight, or those that are just tuning in, because for the kicks of Sheffield United have chucked it away. Sheffield United went 2-0 up tonight at Deepdale, away from home, and we've come away with no points. We've lost 3-2. I thought we started on the back foot. There were a lot of comments, because we've done a live watch along again, myself and Jord. Jord does a fantastic job on them, and thank you to everybody that gives him props for it, because I think he's really strong on those. But anyway, we were under Kosh for 10-15 minutes, I'd say. And then we really started to turn... for 5-10 minutes probably. And then we started to turn it on. We scored quite early doors after about 10 minutes. Andre Brooks with a lovely goal. Really lovely finish. Really good work from Tyrese Campbell as well to create the goal. Composure from Brooks. It was great for us 1-0 up. Against the run of play, it has to be said. And from there, we turned the screw a little bit, and Callum Aware quickly made it 2. Again, a lovely finish, probably slightly better than Brooks, and that's hard to call, but more good work from Tyrese Campbell. A little bit fortunate on the way through as it strikes the hand of Ogbene. In the Premier League, like George said at the time, it gets ruled out that, but he shows lovely feet to get round the defender, make it 2-0, and we're in dreamland. Can't believe it. And from there, really, we cruised right up until about the 40th minute. It were great to see that we were going forward rather than sitting back on something for the first time in ages. And just as we're approaching half time, Lewis Dobbin picks up the ball on the edge of the box. There'll be some that blame Harrison Burrows for not winning the initial tackle, which is, it's fair comment if that's your way of doing it. And he bends it. He's in line, I'd say he's in line with the near post, and he bends it around 3 defenders. And it's a really strong, the technique is great. Cooper can't get down to it quick enough. Some blame Cooper, some blame the defence for all 3 of them not. There were 3 defenders, as I say, that it got round. Some are blaming Gyro for sliding across him rather than standing him up, or standing up and making sure that he's there to block. Some are blaming Burrows, as I say, for the initial miss of the I just think that first goal for Preston, you sometimes just have to applaud. You sometimes have to say, we got done by a really good goal there. I don't mind that. I don't mind being done by a good... I do mind it in terms of it frustrates me. But if there's nothing you can do about it and nobody that you blame, that's fair enough. We start the second half, and they get a free kick early doors. And it's a long ball over the top. I think it's what was his name? Story that heads it across goal, and he's got an header because free header because Campbell lost his man. Campbell, who had been very instrumental in the first 2 goals as well, by the way. They're just interviewing Eki. I'm not bothered about listening to that. Fair play to Eki. That's nothing against him, but it's a bit bitter now, isn't it? And a lot of people will blame Burrows because he's the one that tries to make a last-ditch challenge on him. I don't think you can blame Burrows for that element of it, if I'm honest. But Tanganga just turns awkwardly. It looks like he's going to knee it over the bar, and then it maybe hits his chest or even his arm or something, and it deflects right into the top corner, and Cooper's wrong-footed and can't get there. Can't do anything about it, Cooper. And then they end up going 3-2 up, and it's I can't even remember the third goal off the top of my head. I've probably blanked it out, to be honest, but it's so disappointing to go. I'm going to obviously there's loads of comments flying in. I appreciate everybody joining us. We will unpick it and sort of get to the bottom of it, but I'm going to go to one of our callers first because in fact he's gone. Because his signal was so bad, we're going to lose him any time. We've lost him. Sorry, Big Tony. Oh, is he coming back? Is he back? He's just about back. We may struggle with this one, but we'll see if... let me just check and make sure he's still on the same thing. Yeah. He's saying, let's do it. So, let's go to him live now. Mr. Ramble on the road himself. It's Big Tony. How's it going, Big T? It's not Brett. That's a teaser for later. Big T, how's it going, pal?
Good, mate. Good, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good. Just about.
Good.
How have you found it tonight, mate?
It's been awful. Apart from we had a spell of 15-20 minutes. Other than that, I've no idea what he said to him at half time, because that weren't anything like we've seen for the last few weeks.
It were like a reverse of Blackburn, really.
It were. Like you were saying, first 10 minutes it was all them. We scored a goal. I'm thinking we're going to score a second. I'm thinking we're running away with this. And then we just said to back off. I think. I've just said coming out of the ground. Legs went. It was a soggy pitch. One step too far tonight. 3 games in 6 days. It's done us. And me looks absolutely cream cracker coming off.
Yeah, he does, mate. He does. We could hear you singing as well at 3-2 down. It last 5-10 minutes. Fans have still done themselves proud, haven't they, tonight?
Yeah, fans were brilliant. Absolutely. I was right to the very front tonight, and the noise when we scored second goal, but it was just it flattened down. I can't. Like I said, I think the legs just went. I think they're absolutely cream cracking, and fair dues, they put a shift in.
Yeah.
Last Friday, this time, if she would have said to me, we've won 2 out of 3, I'd have took it any day of the week. But to be 2-0 and to lose, that's what's heart-wrenching more than all.
That's right, mate. That's right. It's the context to it, isn't it, that makes it so frustrating. Okay, mate. So how does he pick them up here before Derby?
Well, we've got to rest now. They've got a few days off, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
I think I don't think Derby's picking any. They're not doing much in league now. So I think we've got a good chance again. It's Coventry that's going to be a problem. We play like that against Coventry, it could be an hatful.
It could, mate. It could. Well, I'm going to let you go because signal's been in and out, but you've done our Ramble on the road, haven't you, mate? I'll look forward to getting that.
I'm on my way to Blackpool now, so have a good show. I'll see you soon.
Have a good one, mate. Thanks a lot. Cheers. See you soon, T.
See you, mate.
Ta-ra, mate. Top man. Big Tony there. He's done our Ramble on the road tonight. He's using the fact that we're playing where we are to take his family to Blackpool for the weekend. Top man. That's what we want, isn't it? So, yeah, at least he'll hopefully have a little amusement towards the end of the weekend for him and his family, but chuffing out. Bad start in it after that. Okay, let's get in some comments before I bring on any more callers. I just wanted to make sure T got his chance there with dodgy Wi-Fi that he had going on. Gage says, on another day we beat them. I'm convinced we'll make a charge now. Samari to start from here on out is quality. Convinced we'll make a charge. Interesting. Jack says, to go 2-0 up then going 3-2 is very poor on the players. All the work they've done and they've thrown it away. Not to do with luck. Silly foul for the own goal and the header. We hadn't defend one all half. 6 from 9 is still a good week, says Alessandro, but gutted as it could have been 9, especially with the start we made. 5 minutes added. First half was criminal. Like how? Mistake in that and another in the first and the second half. I don't know if you've added any more there, pal, but there's loads of comments just What the F was all that about, Blade, says Tony, the Burnley fan. Mate, you tell us. No idea. Some strikers needed in Jan. Ings needs to start getting criticism. Seems to be getting a free pass. Ings needs to start getting criticism. Seems to be getting a free pass. Is he getting criticism or getting a free pass? I don't know if I've misread that, Mobs. Some people saying tonight that Ings is past it. And look, okay, so there's a couple of things I want to sort of highlight again here. And I've just said to Tony that it was like a flip of the Blackburn performance because second half were poor and first half were good, in my opinion. I do not understand playing Danny Ings in the 10. I'm not saying Danny Ings is the answer to all our problems. He probably isn't. But we know he's a quality striker at the level. And if you get Danny Ings in the box, he's likely to score if he don't go down and try and win a penalty. Why are we not playing him up top, either with Tyrese Campbell or instead of Tyrese Campbell, if he's going to be the sub to come on for him? I do not understand it. I do not understand that element of it. And it's going back to the team that didn't work in the first half against Blackburn. You looked at bench and Tom Cannon's coming on, Louis Barry's coming on, Jamie Shackleton's coming on. Does that scream last minute equaliser to you? It don't me. And I don't like saying that about Blades, but so disappointing, says Matt. 2-0 up and the players throw it away, but I am looking on the bright side. 6 out of 9 for this week. We'd all have taken that at the start of the week. Never mind, we go again Saturday, up the Blades, up the Ramble. I'm split with this because, of course, we'd all have taken 2 wins from 3. We'd all have taken it. And we should, because of the terrible form that we've been on. But the context is, and that is the bigger picture, but the context is, this game, we had it. We had it in the palm of our hands. It was here. The 3 points was there. And we have chucked it away. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Tom says, wow, how disappointing was that? No team deserves to get anything out of a game going behind after being 2 up. Sums is up at the minute. Not one single player out normally, but wow, Burrows. McCallum starts for me next game. Burrows, and I think some people have been looking for people to blame. That's a natural thing when it happens. They're showing Dobbin goal as well. I don't think there's anything any of them can do. Burrows gets done on the initial tackle. Riedveld slides in, but he's done by a dummy, which everybody gets done by, I think, to be fair. It's just a really good goal. With that, and with a couple of other things, I think people are looking to blame Burrows. Even the header at the end, where he should score, but I'll even give him a pass because he slips. I think his second half performance were really poor overall. So it's why wouldn't you look to bring Sam McCallum back in if he's not performing? But do you do it as sharply as that? Do you do a chop and change as sharply as that? One bad performance and you're out? Or do you give him another go at Derby? We'll have to wait and see what Wilder wants to do. But yeah, we're poor second half, Harrison Burrows, no doubt about it. Joe says, very mixed opinions. Did we play well first half or were they just poor? 2 wins from 3 is great, but could easily have been 3 from 3. Burrows and Peck were shocking. Do we need a better backup to push Coops? I think Coops is unlucky with all 3 goals. I don't hold him responsible. I'm going to seat third goalie, which I can't remember off the top of my head. They're going to show it in a minute. But certainly the first 2 goals, I don't blame him for. I think he's completely wrong-footed. Oh, of course, it was Jebbo, weren't it? That's why I've blocked it out of my mind. Let's have a look. And yeah, I was remembering it before I've even seen it now. Cross comes in from the left-hand side. McGuinness was injured, weren't he, in the build-up? And that makes Jebbo a free man for a bullet header. I don't blame Cooper for any of 3 goals. So in terms of anybody, I always think we need a better backup keeper because if Cooper went down injured, we wouldn't be very confident in Adam Davis in goal. I wouldn't be anyway. In terms of Burrows, as I said, I've just spoken about that. I think he was poor tonight, certainly second half. I didn't notice Siddy being as poor as a lot of people have said. I didn't think he were great tonight, but there were a lot of people in the comments saying he's been really poor. Did you notice? Joe obviously has, but did anybody else notice Siddy tonight? Onwards and upwards, says Chip Butty. It's how we respond to Derby now that counts. I've always said it, no one likes losing, but it's the manner you're losing, says Jack. Wilder won't be making excuses for that, I'm sure. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed in them. I'm just waiting because I will be bringing our callers on, but I'm confident that they're going to go to Chris Wilder in a minute, and I'd like to hear that as well. So I don't want to interrupt anybody that's going to be commenting live. Jack says, well, we had the chances near the end. I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. That's what my dad used to say to me. Killer. Absolute killer. Can't bear the look of Jebo's grin at the end. Marathon, not a sprint, though. I think Sheffield United will be in Premier League before Dan Jebison's maintained a run in the Premier League. I know he plays for Bournemouth, but he's never been a Premier League player, has he? Gage says, honestly think Samari could play the Peck role, no problem. Alex says, really, really disappointed and down after that. Trying to be positive, 6 points from 9. We'd all have took it on to Derby. Yeah. Dave says, maybe need to get some better fitness experts in because our lads are always tired. I think some of them have played a full 270 minutes in 6 days, haven't they? Has City Peck been subbed once? I'm not sure he has in these last 3 games. So it's, as Callum Aware came off, didn't he, on Tuesday, but with not long to go. There's a lot that have... Tanganga's played full game. Ben Mee's played full game. 270 minutes. It's a lot to ask in a short space of time. They're going to do Sheffield United after the break, I think. So that gives me the chance, Dave Death, to go to our next caller. Or who would have been our first caller, to be fair, because he's waited very patiently. Coming straight in. Probably used the old link that I sent, I think, rather than waiting for me to send it out. It is next up Chris Wilder. So we'll get, in the meantime, we'll have some light relief, hopefully, from Dave Marwood. How's it going, Dave? Dave, are you okay? Well,
I thought I'd better mask it, Jimmy.
Yeah, thank you. With that, it's a bit of self-censoring.
Yeah. Just a little
Thank you
bit,
for
mate.
that. Thank you, mate. Where do we start with that performance, Dave?
Well, I was going to say, but it's been said about 3 times by yourself and Big T. It was like the Blackburn game in reverse, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
First half, good. Second half, I think somebody said on the comments that that goal just before half time lifted them and dropped us. And then you got that lucky goal straight after the break.
Yeah.
And then you could say another bit of luck with the third goal, with McGuinness being down injured and not being able to get back.
Yeah, I thought so.
But, it was a good header from Everton. But we did have the chances to get something from the game. That's Tamari missed. The one where O'Hare was back on his heels a little bit when it came off Thierry Small, is it? And
yeah, it was, yeah.
He just couldn't get to it. He just diverted it away for a goal kick. The Harrison Burrows where he slipped. The chances were there to get something from it.
I agree. I would normally say that because you've highlighted a good few chances there that we had, and you'd normally say on reflection with that, we probably deserved a point from the game. However, I would also say that I think because our heads went down when they certainly when they scored second, we went to pieces a little bit at the back, and we sort of allowed them onto us. And I thought they looked just as strong and dangerous going forward as we did. And I think they could have had more, as much as we could have had more. That game could have ended up 6-4. So
Jefferson blazed it over the bar.
Yeah, he did.
And then Smith missed that
sitter.
I don't know how he missed it really, because when he came across him, I thought 4-2.
Yeah, me too.
And then it had gone. We could carry on now up to Derby, get 3 points at Derby. Everybody will be like, yay!
I know. It's one of them though, isn't it? It sort of knocks wind out of your sails. It's hard because 6 points from 9 is good, but in the manner that we've now come out of this last game, it's still quite deflating, I think, isn't it? So it's hard to. I want to be positive.
I would have taken a point.
Yeah, you did.
And when it got to 2-2, I thought, a point, okay. But then, like you said, we just sort of panicked at the back.
Yeah.
All the composure seemed to have gone. But,
Tough job on his hands, hasn't he? He's got a tough job on his hands.
He has. You know, and he said this. You know, it's a tougher job than what I thought when I came in. We thought we'd got this little bit of composure back, and you know, confidence coming back. Then this happens.
Yeah.
And we've just got to do it again now. Start again.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for Derby. Look, we'll get a press conference.
I've no doubt we will do it.
I'm same. I certainly think we'll pull away from danger, and I know that we'll get a press conference next week. He'll turn me around, and I'll be excited again. But in the moment, it's just
we go, Derby, we come, and
no, it will be, because it always is, and that's why he's great to lead us.
Blade, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know, you sort of go 2-up, and you're thinking this could be a really good game. This for us,
yeah.
You know, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, mate.
Done with.
Right.
But, you know, stay positive, mate. Stay positive.
I'll try my best, pal. Thank you for calling tonight. Appreciate it, pal.
No worries, mate. Up the Ramble and up the Blades and up everybody.
Top man. All right. Cheers, Davey boy. See you soon.
Cheers, mate.
Ta-ra, mate. Bye. Top man, Dave Mwood. I'm going to just hold off on my next caller now because Chris Wilder's come on. I want to hear what he's got to say. I've just paused it. How do you reflect on that? Both ends of the pitch, we had enough opportunities. First 5 minutes, we made some poor decisions. They started the game on the front foot. After that, I thought our play was really good. Thought we pressed well, forced them into situations and set traps. We scored 2 good goals. It should be 3 or 4 at half time. I'm not a manager that thinks every opportunity we score, but I think we had enough today. Decision making. Feel of the game's different at half time because they've scored, obviously. Got a chance to spin it down line. Game management, it's very naive from our point of view. Left back comes across. Doesn't need to go diving in. Boy rolls him. Whole feeling of the game changes. So he's blaming Burrows as well. Been there before. Yeah, if it's 2-0 at half time, it's a different story. We commit a silly foul. Allow him to put the ball in box. Unfortunate with the own goal. And all of a sudden, it's 2 each. Third goal, centre half's injured. He's trying to get back. They find a great cross. All stuff we planned for. We knew it would come in terms of the plan for it. Change of atmosphere, change of everything. Attitude. We're on the back foot. And then still, from my point of view, we have 3 or 4 great opportunities to get something from the game. So the naivety about our play has hurt us. Paul will see it differently. But for him, the result was basically there for us to go and get a big 3 points and cap off a fabulous week. And we've handed the game back to them. Just asking, is it about responding to the setbacks? He's still learning about the group of players. It's a new group, he says, and it's a young team. We're the second youngest, but we still have to learn on the job. The decisions, players have to understand that, smell danger and realise what happens when you come in at half time 2-0 up. I've been critical of a couple of the players in there, but I'm critical that we've not put them to bed as well. We've had counter-attacks and enough counter-attacks to show our quality. I think sometimes we get away with it saying it's unlucky, but it isn't. Because they decide the games just as much as defenders decide the game. We've given them a massive. They've upped the game, but we've given them a massive helping hand. Attitude of the group is good. They've gone to the end. They've tried to get something from the game. Samari misses an unbelievable chance. Tom has a chance later on. Other bits and pieces. I'm not critical of their attitude. But it's a massive opportunity for 9 points out of 9 that we haven't taken. We have to look at ourselves and learn from this. She says, but it could have been 9 out of 9, but from where you were, you still got 6 out of 9. At this moment, what's gone off in the past is what's gone off in the past. We can't just rely on that. Good players and proper footballers, good teams. Learn off and enjoy and take the confidence and belief off what happened on Saturday and what happened on Tuesday night and go and chase that winning feeling. We talked about it. Quite easily we could have said, oh, we've had a decent week and nick a point, or forget it's okay, 6 points out of 9's alright. We have to strive to win every game. There's no leeway for us just to hand points and games to opposition. As I said, Paul and his team will say that they've done a lot of things right, but I think deep down he'll understand the game changed in the 46th minute. We've helped them, we've not helped ourselves, and that's what's happened. And that's why we're walking away empty-handed. Very good from Wilder again, very forthright. Didn't really take any responsibility himself, did he? I'm not saying he needed to. Some people may say he needed to. Right, I'm going to get to another caller now straight away because I think that's a really good talking point to jump off from. So next up, it's Lewis. How's it going, pal? Oh, I've got you a little bit.
I'm not too bad, all things considered. It wasn't the ending that we anticipated.
Mate, I'm amazed to see a smile on your face. It's great to see a smile on your face. I'm not saying that I don't want to see it, but it's one of them, innit, mate? What a disappointing night for United. But what did you make of the game first and foremost?
Do you know what I do? Early on, when we started, where Preston were putting a little bit of pressure on us, and we're having a bit of the ball, I never felt like they were getting at us. I never felt like they were hurting us. They had that one cross into Jefferson that he kind of glanced into nowhere.
Yeah.
And I just thought, no, we're all right, and we'll build our way into it, which we did. And then Brooksy scored, where we just said, okay, you have it there. And as soon as you make a mistake, we're going to do you. And that's what we did. And I felt comfortable at that point. And then Cal goes and makes it 2-0. I thought, we're off, we're away. Everything we expected, we thought, we're on an upward curve now. And then I think we've been really unfortunate to get back to 2-2 at least. I think we've been really unfortunate. I think the goal that Preston scored before half-time is a good goal.
Yeah, it is.
Do
you blame anybody for that, Lewis? Because Wilder appeared, in my opinion, to think Harrison Burrows shouldn't be going for it like he did, and sort of aids the goal essentially by diving in.
This is going to shock everyone in the Platts because I'm a Wilder disciple. Disagree with him completely. I do. Yeah. I think he's emotional about it, which he will be because he's the manager and he's a supporter as well. It hurts him more than probably anybody else. I think he's harsh on Burrows. I think Burrows is trying to take responsibility. All right, he might be out of position. It might not be his responsibility to take, but he's taking it.
Yeah.
And the play, Dobbin's gone round him. He's found a great finish. I think Cooks is unlucky not because he's got a hand to it. He's unlucky not to keep it out. So it's a good goal, and then Tanganga is normally so composed and reacts very quickly. I think he's a human being. We've got to accept that sometimes he's going to be a bit unlucky. He was on the second goal. So. We're at 2-2, and then the tails are up, aren't they? They are right in it. Jebison finds a goal from, I think Mark McGuinness has got a dead leg or something at that point. He's been done about a minute earlier. So everything's gone against us. And I'm not trying to be Mr. Positive again and paint the picture that it's just down to bad luck, because we've got to manage the game better. And we've got to show a bit of character after that as well. But I do think we've been unfortunate tonight. I think the luck's run against us to lose the lead that we had. And it's just snowballed from there, mate, in all honesty. And then football's like that. It's very unpredictable. And when you're away from home, the home side, if they get a bit of momentum, it's very difficult to turn it again.
I always appreciate your because we get so many. The thing I love about the platform, and we've got Mark Meldrew coming up next, who will have likely a different opinion, but doesn't necessarily have to do. I know we bull him up as being the negative one, and we say that you're one of the positive ones. But I love the range of opinions that we've got, and the fact that you can come on and try and put a bit of light on it as to, we were very unlucky in certain elements of the game, because I believe that to be true as well. But Mark may have a different opinion, and why is he not making changes earlier? Why is he playing Ings in the 10? And it's not that you don't see those things either. It's just that you choose to try and focus on some of the more positive aspects of the game, where we could have, if that bit of luck had gone with us, then the game's very different. And I love the range that we've got. But what did you make to his post-match, mate, there? Where I don't know whether you caught him or whether you just were able to hear what I were sort of trying to phrase back, in terms of, it was very forthright on the players being naive. That were a big word that he kept coming back to. He basically thinks we've thrown it. I've titled this, "We've thrown it away." He's said we've handed them the game. We were in a very controlling position. It's a very young squad, but they're very naive. And he says he's name checked a few players in the changing room. How do you think about this hard line that he's taking with the team at the minute? Are you for it? Do you think there needs to be a little bit more humility from him, in terms of, he's the one that puts Danny Ings in the 10 and brings Tom Cannon on to try and win us the game, and that's me criticising the man who I think is our best ever manager, but it's not working. That those changes weren't working at Blackburn, so why would they work when we're chasing the game at Deepdale? So what were your thoughts on his post-match, mate?
In terms of how he's managing it, I think as long as he knows the individual personalities, and I think he does, I'm for it. I think it is a young group. It's a new group. I think this is probably another chapter of his man management and his approach, that he's stamping his authority in a tough love kind of way. He's putting his arm around them, but he's reminding them all the time. He expects high standards. He expects high standards because he believes they're good players. Even some of the newer ones, even some of the younger ones. But he's trying to get that message across, that there is an expectation at this club. And there's an expectation from me of responsibility in the way we manage games and the way we approach things. And I think that's the message he's trying to get across in that post-match interview. He's maybe a little bit harsh on Burrows, but Burrows is a player that he's had in his previous spell, albeit a few months ago. He signed him. Probably knows him very well, so he feels that Burrows is a player that if he calls him out a little bit, we'll trust him.
Well, he took him out of the team, didn't he? And then he rewarded. He had a brilliant cameo against Blackburn, it has to be said. So it did give him a rocket, and he wasn't able to take that momentum into today's game, because I think he did okay at the start. I don't think anybody can point to too many holes. Somebody in the comments actually said we've got no weaknesses in this team. I said, well, that's a little bit strong. I wouldn't say that at all. I can point out a few, but at that time we were playing well. And then second half, it's easier to point the fingers at individuals. I understand why people do it as well, but yeah, he's clearly a player that Wilder thinks can take the stick more so than needing the carrot, I suppose. And Cooper's been name checked a couple of times by Wilder, not tonight, but he has been previously. So it's interesting to, Femi Siriki in the press conference, he were asked about Femi Siriki, and he said, well, he needs to do better. He needs to do better. It's a selection reason that he's not been involved in the matchday squad, which will surprise a few, particularly, the fact that we've seen it from Femi in parts last season. So, yeah, he's taking a hard line with some of these players, and I don't mind it particularly. Like you, Sir Lewis, I think it's a really good way to put it. If he knows the personalities of the players, and he can, or what he thinks, how he thinks they will react, and he's pushing it at the appropriate level that he feels, then it's probably a tailored approach to each individual, isn't it? He's probably putting his arm around Tyrese Campbell and giving a rocket to Harrison Burrows, just as an example. So, yeah, it's tough, mate. It's hard, and I'm with him. I have to say, I'm with him on the. I'm not currently delighted that we've got 6 points in 9 games. I'm gutted that we've thrown a game away tonight, and I'm not saying in 2 or 3 days' time I won't be able to have a bit more clarity on that. But it's in the heat of the moment tonight. It's just so frustrating, isn't it, to have it in your hands?
It is, and it was in our hands. And I think where I could have a little bit of criticism is at 2-2, we've been a bit unlucky, but managed the moment. Manage it, and we've given the ball away, and then a ball's come into the box. All right, McGuinness might be a bit out of action. We've not got anybody picking Jefferson up, but we've got to manage that moment of the game. I mean, what I would say to other Blades is, look, at the start of this week before Watford, would you have taken 6 points out of 9? I think I would, to be honest, given where we were.
Absolutely, we would. Absolutely, we would.
Yeah, I mean, the disappointment's palpable tonight. It's when you're 2-0 up, to lose 3-2 is a gut punch. It is, and I'm feeling that disappointment. I wanted to throw something.
Yeah,
at the screen
I know.
When it 3-2, but it's one of those things. Football can be like that. It can be cruel. It can be really.
It can,
cruel.
mate. It can. Well, I want to say thank you for joining us tonight, mate. Very much appreciated. Always appreciate your views on things, and I'll catch up with you soon, bud.
Thank you, mate. Good to speak to you. And up the 5 PB.
Up the 5 PB. Nice one, pal. All right, well, from... it's a dodgy signal he's got there, but we're going to try it anyway. From the 5 PB to the 1 NB, is it? Is that what it is now? He's on his own, I think, because Jordan Motson were certainly looking at being a positive Blade tonight if he could. It's Mark Meldrew. How's it going, pal?
Not bad, mate. You?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Talk to me about how you're feeling, pal.
I just don't know how we've threw that away, mate.
You and me both. You and me both. I can't check how frustrated I am with it tonight, to be honest. And I think Wilder has to take his share of the blame, in all honesty. I don't know if you agree with me on this or not, but I think he brings Danny Ings on and puts him in the 10. It's infuriating to me. I can't think of a reason why you would do that and then bring Tom Cannon on for Tyrese Campbell and stick Tom Cannon in this striker role. So you're now setting up in the exact same way as you did with Blackburn first half, that ended up with Blackburn going in 1-0 up at half time because it was that poor from us and ineffective. I don't get the top of the pitch set up from that perspective. Louis Barry coming on, that's not going to win us game, is it? I don't. Anyway, mate, let me know if you think Wilder needs to take a little bit of a portion of the blame tonight, because I think he does, and I love Chris Wilder. I don't know what your thoughts are on how we let him just grow into the game. You could see all the momentum shift. It were palpable, weren't it, in terms of when they score against before half time, it's ideal time to score. They're going to come out second half then, tails up. We know that. Just keep it tight. Just keep it tight. Weather the storm. We knew they started fast first half, and we managed to weather it second half because they're going to be throwing everything at us. And we fall at first hurdle, and it's 2-2, and then they've got all the momentum. And then they get a bit of luck, I think, for it's a good goal, but I think they get a bit of luck in terms of how it's dropped for them with McGuinness getting injured and Ben Mee then caught between two. Great header from Jefferson, it has to be said, and it would have to be him, wouldn't it? But so there's elements of luck that I think we were unlucky, but I also think we invited them onto us an awful lot, and they could have. Michael Smith, like David was saying earlier, misses an absolute sitter. Jefferson skies one over at bar when it drops to him. It hasn't been good enough tonight. Certainly second half. Not for me anyway. What's your thoughts, mate?
Oh, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I think each goal that they've scored, you can look at something within that and think we could do better. I mean, you look at Burrows, is he at fault? I don't know. You could say it's good play by Armstrong. A lot's happened after that, and Dobbins got it on the box. Reedvald could stand up. There's 2 or 3 behind him that could probably do better.
Yeah.
But you've got to, like you said, Jim, you've got to give credit to Dobbin. It were a good finish. He's bent it round bodies. Second goal, I actually thought Campbell probably could do better with that. I think he lets Story have a free header,
He does, yeah.
Gets a run on Burrows, and Burrows is only 5 foot whatever.
Yeah. I don't blame Burrows for that.
And it's just hit Tanganga and gone in, and that's when you're down where we are. That sort of was against you.
That's right.
Third goal, I think that's the one that's really harsh. McGuinness sort of goes down, like Lewis said, either a dead leg or whatever. And if he stood up straight and is in position, I think he just clears that with his head and it's gone over him. And
like he had done for the majority of games so far. He were just heading stuff out, weren't he, for majority? And
I thought he had another good game, to be fair.
Yeah, I did.
But yeah, it's like I've just listened to him now, and like you said, you can't be happy with 6 from 9 when you're 2-0 up away from home and you're in complete control.
Yeah, I know. Of course, like Lewis was saying, would you have taken 6 from 9? Yes, we would. Yeah, absolutely we would. But the context of tonight still means it's a real kicker that we haven't got something from this game. I can't check it. And I think for the majority of the game, we were, oh, that's unlucky. Oh, that's unlucky. That's unlucky. And yes, I get that luck plays a part in it. And I get what Wilder's saying about naivety as well. So there is a balance to it because we aren't making the right decisions necessarily at the key moments. But there are signs for optimism out there in what he's doing with this squad. I think he's managing them well. I think tonight's a real gut punch for us. But it certainly don't feel like we're going completely backwards, or it don't to me anyway. I don't know if you have any sort of fears after that performance about longer term.
Oh, mate, it's night and day compared to what we're watching.
Yeah.
They weren't playing for manager previously. It's no secret. That's just how it were. And week upon week, apart from probably Charlton, you could say every game we have improved. We haven't got results tonight, but there were some good signs again. I mean, you could argue and say we scored 2 in 15 minutes. You could say we scored too early. But you can never score too early in a game, can you? So it's tough to take, like you say, it's a dagger in it, but we've just got to draw a line under it now and go again. We've got another week on training pitch and he'll get it going. He's not daft.
No, I agree. Would you make any changes, mate? What team would you, if everybody being fit, apart from the obvious ones like longer term Arblaston, but going with what selection he's got available to him at the moment, is that your team that he started with tonight to go against Derby?
I'd probably go with that again, yeah. I would. We got pressed fine, to be fair. And every time they got ball at back, we looked like we were going to score. I think he's alluded to that in sort of press conference after and said we had 2 or 3 good chances after that and the other sides take them and they take game away from them and score 3 or 4.
That's right.
But it's always puts and made, isn't it? The only thing I will say is it got to 60, 61 minutes and a stat come up on screen and it said we'd not had a shot in the second half and it just seemed to go away from us and maybe that little bit of confidence when you're riding it a little bit, it just seemed to go out of us and they had wind in the sails, didn't they? And
yeah, they did.
It is what it is. They're 4th in league, 4th or 5th. And league's really tight at that end of the table and they've beat some good sides at home. They beat Ipswich, Leicester, they drew with Borough. So I think they are a bit of a different kettle of fish this year compared to what they have been previously. So it is what it is, but draw a line under it and we'll go again, don't we?
Top man Marco, thanks for joining us, mate. What else you want to say before I let you go?
No, mate, just take care, all right?
Yeah, you too, pal. All right, speak to you soon. See you,
Cheers,
mate.
Ta-ra.
Top man, Mark Meldrew. Not as negative as I thought it would be tonight. It's very fair, very balanced, I thought there. I'm going to get some comments now, lads. Apologies to those that are waiting, but I don't want to get too far behind, which I already am, to be honest. So I'm going to go for one comment from everybody rather than everybody's comments or all of the comments, if that makes sense. Pro Brad says, I'm sorry, but Ogbenny offers nothing. On a bright note, I thought O'Hare was class tonight. That's it, though. Everyone else very average. Johnny says, Burrows showed 2 minutes of football of why he should be picked against Blackburn, then shows 90 minutes of why he shouldn't. Poor defensively and offensively today. Action Location says, well, we threw that away. Don't bother bringing Cannon or Barry on. Cooler King says, up until the first Preston goal, the Blades had been very impressive, scoring 2 excellent goals, but as soon as they were put under pressure, they wilted. No one stepped up. Lack of leadership again. Yes, agreed. Mr. V says, a lack of concentration at the end of the first half and an unlucky Tanganga own goal was our downfall today. We had spells of domination, but also spells of really bad, sloppy defensive errors. Up the blades, up all the rambles, like and subscribe. Thank you, Mr. V. PJ says, we just look so unfit. I think that's a little bit harsh, PJ. I think we've done all right to manage the minutes over this difficult period. We can't forget we've had 3 games in 6 days. Like Tony said that on the very first call. It's a very quick turnaround for us. And I know it's like that in the Championship, but that's why we've used our squad. I don't think fitness was a true indicator today. Ray says, O'Hare superb yet again, but that second half performance was shocking. I think that 2-goal lead put him in front in comfort mode and lost concentration second half. Charlesy says, yeah, thought that away. To be 2-0 up and thrown it away like that, still work to do. Jake says, attack did their job, 2 quick goals and looked dangerous first half. Defence needs a look in the mirror, incredibly poor from them, and Cooper looks like he's only going to make a save if it's right at him. Unfortunately, we couldn't pick up any points tonight, but 6 from 3 is 2 points per game. Keep that up and we'll be fine. Gage says, personally, I think it's best we've played unlucky own goal. They had 1 chance first half. It was a half chance that he's finished it well. And if McGuinness's knee doesn't go, he's in position to get rid. It's really interesting to see how the opinions swing. And I don't just mean on callers like Lewis, one end of the spectrum, and Mark wasn't quite the other end of the spectrum that I thought he might be. But there are some that are like, one said everybody else was average apart from Callum O'Hare. Gage here saying that he thinks it's the best we've played all season up until some unlucky moments. Gabe says City needs benching. Again, more criticism for City there. Alessandro says, I agree with the summary from Cooler King. The equaliser almost zapped the life and confidence out of everyone, especially so early in the half. Most likely a different story if we don't concede it. Probably 9 points from 9. Tom says we offered nothing in that second half. I think it was a step backwards from Watford and Blackburn in the second half. Yeah, I thought second half were a step backwards. I agree. Rob says, and that's why we've not won anything in 100 years. United. Scott says that second half was awful. Tanganga have a body transplant at half time, letting someone as garbage as Jebo score says it all. Burrows back to the bench. Barry back on the bus to Villa. Blades stumble, says JC. You're not wrong, mate. We did. Our bench is so weak. We need strength coming off the bench. Brett says, I think you might be done for this season, Jim. Hopefully not. Joe says 6 out of 9 I'm happy with, but throwing away a 2-0 lead is not what we need right now. Andrew says, sadly, another example of tactical stubbornness from Wilder not playing 2 up front with only minutes of the game left. Confidence and fitness levels still massive issues. I agree with this. Why have we not at least put Ings alongside Cannon? If that's what you want to go with, 2 up top. We needed a goal. Why is Danny Ings, prolific striker in the number 9 position, playing as a 10? Ellen says, bottle jobs just keep on giving. Wouldn't have minded a draw, but to lose like that. James says, all things considered, their first was a quality goal. The second was unfortunate, and the third unlucky due to the McGuinness injury. Biggest worry is the lack of fight after conceding that third midfield in La La Land. I would also argue that our second goal is fortunate, not in terms of the skill on display, but in terms of the Ogbenian ball. So there's swings and roundabouts. Michael Smith should put them 4-2 up. Liam says Campbell was amazing first half, then he didn't offer anything second. I think that's fair as well. We got sluggish and made too many mistakes and lost. Ryan says criminal how we've lost that tonight. Tanganga had a nightmare. We could have scored more if we took our chances. Jordan says absolutely disappointed. Justin says what a collapse that was. The defence was shocking second half. Burrows back to his worst. Thought Cooper was poor. 0 impact from the bench. Where was the mentality from Blackburn? Up the blades, up the ramble. Regal Smoke says, I understand the optimism of winning 2 out of 3, but how many times will this happen over the season? It's so frustrating. I thought Samari played brilliant other than that missed opportunity. Eric says Barry and Cannon should not appear in the first team squad again, and in January be on the bus to somewhere new. I think there will be, to be honest, Eric. Soren says, what happened with that at 2-0? Leeds played a solid 45 minutes, and then Farker went defensive at home in the second half. Hopeless. Come on, lads. See you in the Premier League next season. I don't think you will, Soren, if I'm honest. Isaac says Ings isn't getting any criticism. He isn't up to it or playing well. up for it or playing well. I don't think he played well tonight, Ings. I don't think he made a difference when he came on. Sadie says, oh my goodness, Jimmy, that game changed quickly. Didn't expect that. You and me both, Sadie. You and me both. Chris says, good first half, awful second. This team mentality is weak. Not sure how Wilder sorts that, but on to the next one. Andy says, the 2 goals either side of half-time shifted the momentum. We couldn't get control of the game. Jimmy Foster says, Tanganga and McGuinness were really poor. Russ says, we're guilty of buying in too early. 6 points this week. We would have all been happy with that 2 weeks ago. Fair enough, but the team 40 to 90 was not the team from 20 to 40. Lots of work to do. How on earth did they throw that away? Absolutely disappointing. Harry says, completely agree with Burrows coming off the bench. We'll end up in the bottom 3 come 5 p.m. tomorrow. Yes, we will. Helen, yes, we will. Robert says, is it a lack of heart, backbone or spirit? Thought our fans were awful again. Our fans were awful again. I disagree completely. I could hear them. I could hear them through majority, Robert. So I don't agree with that. Brand says players showed weak, frail mentality tonight. Such a soft underbelly was like watching a Sayers team after the 40th minute. It's going to be a hell of a fight, this relegation scrap. But Jimmy says didn't play that bad. The timing of their first 2 goals was crucial. Need to take stock of the second half where we lost our way. Fitness needs to improve, and it will. Up the blades, up the Ramble. Paul Young says, this is still a rebuild. This includes our confidence. If you're feeling down, then it's your own fault for getting carried away after just 2 games. It's a long season, and we'll be up there. No, Paul, love you, mate. I disagree. You're allowed to feel down from the game itself, even as an isolated game. Even as an isolated game, you're allowed to feel down with how that's played out today. You can. It's not a case of, well, you let yourself, get carried away because we'd won 2 on the spin. It wasn't that. It was the manner in which we've lost the game today. That could have happened at any point in the season. We'd all feel really deflated with how that game's got away from us. Tom says, great night. How did Blunts get on marching on together up the blades? Not seen you for a while. Sadie says the Championship's the most unpredictable season I remember as a Blue Nose. Anything can happen. Josh says, watch this now, Jimmy lad. We'll come back later after I'm... Oh, sorry, can't watch this now, Jimmy lad. We'll come back later after I'm more level-headed. No worries, Josh. I get it, mate. I get it. We're here for those that want to decompress, those that want to rant and rave, and those, some just can't take it straight afterwards, and I understand it. I've been in that situation many times. I'm sort of tied into it now a little bit, I would have to say. But yeah, it's not always easy, is it, to come on straight afterwards. Digger says, overall disappointing team. Time and time again this season, they don't have what it takes. Too many poor players in the squad who you're not happy to see being brought off the bench. Phil says, Jimmy, you're too soft. We are weak, cowardly footballers. We have 3 weak links. Cooper, Burrows and Peck not good enough. Well, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion, and you might think I'm too soft on him. I think Cooper's going through a poor patch at the minute. I don't think he's a weak link. I don't think he is. Burrows, I think Peck's been getting better week on week. He's been criticised today. I don't think that's necessarily fair in what I saw. Burrows, I can see why he's getting some stick tonight. LA Blade says, at the beginning of these 3 matches, would be happy with 7 points out of 9. Well, 6 points ain't too bad. Poor to let one in just before half-time. Different team talk. Keep the faith. Up the blades. Up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Jap says, Wilder's got a huge job to do in January. Barry, Binden, Ogbenny need to have loans terminated. We need to get a bunch sold. I think he'll keep Ogbenny for some reason. I might be wrong. Jamie says, hindsight is wonderful, but please play the best centre-back in the league at centre-back and start Samari next game for love child. Sorry, Peck. Hope the weekend ruin us. Oh, mate, nice. Kevin says, it was a bad 12 to 15 minutes. Confidence in players and us fans collectively drained away. We have a poor group of loanees. We do. Good news is we can hopefully get rid of them all except Samari in January. Pete says we are too slow on the break and give the ball away too many times, passing it back at 3 down. A joke, and Cooper kicking it long after 3 or 4 touches around the box. Heads were down up the Ramble. Glenn says Tanganga looked all over the shop. It weren't a good game for Jaff, was it? I think it was good in spells, but overall he's usually quite solid. I don't think he was tonight particularly. Mogger says, I love CW, but Ings has gone for 75 million and played as a striker. Why does he seem to think at 33 is the time to start playing as a number 10? It's madness. Mogger, I'm with you, mate. You know I'm with you. And I know we both admire the man mutually, but some are head scratchers out there. TC says, whatever, don't concede first half, injury time. It was our undoing, and from that point, we're always going to struggle. Harry says, first goal, we should do better defensively. Second goal is down to our poor marking and not reacting. Third is unfortunate as McGuinness is on the floor and doesn't recover. On to the next one, up the blades, up the mountain, up the ramble, maybe. Okay, thanks, Harry. Chef Paul says psychology. That will be a very damaging for psychologically. I assume you mean that'll be very damaging for player morale. I agree. It's a real test for him now, isn't it? Wilder will have a job lifting them after losing a 2-0 lead. David says, don't like knocking players, but couple not at their best. Peck needs resting. Poor goals to give away. Sadie says, I think despite the 2-goal lead, it's still important that Preston have been absolutely class at home. I'm not a blade, but you're scoring goals now, which was lacking before. That's fair. Andrew says, money aside, Tanganga and Ings must be wondering what they've signed up to. Tanganga's not a right back and Ings is an out-and-out striker. Stop being stubborn, Wilder. Dan says, City needs a rest. Happened last season, if you can remember. I can. Right up to Christmas time, it was him and Tom Davis in the middle, weren't it? Getting flogged. And that's when Hull turned us over 3-0. We were like the last game of that long stretch. That Armstrong for Preston looks a proper baller. We ended up loaning Barry. Yeah. Carl says, sorry we had to beat you, Jimmy. No worries, mate. It were fair. I thought it were fair, to be honest. I thought we can be really disappointed in how we played, but like I was saying earlier too, I can't remember who I was saying it to now, but it might be Mark. You could say, or maybe even Lewis or David, I can't remember. You could say, you know, on the chances that we can reel off that we created, that we deserved something from the game. But you could also say the chances that Preston missed. And they were really coming on to us because our heads had dropped. It were our mentality that lost us this game, but Preston took advantage of that. So you can't begrudge anybody else. It's like when Borough beat us, isn't it? And, you know, we lost fair and square, didn't we? And that's the concerning thing. Andy says, Barry's been dreadful. Not seen him do anything good yet. Fred says, Championship, anyone can beat anyone. Not sure why you're sticking Tanganga at right back. Bonkers. You'll be right. John says, why didn't Wilder play McCallum, who was in form? I don't understand him sometimes. Matty says, what does Peck have to do to get subbed off? Absolute passenger today. And me having to go at everyone and then lets Jebbo run off him to score. Some leader. I think that's harsh. It wasn't... he had Dobbin, or whoever the partner striker was at the time, and it was McGuinness. Jebbo was McGuinness's man, and me had to try and come across late to cover when McGuinness was down injured. Excuse me. So I think that's my interpretation of it, Matty, anyway. Winkerback Blade says, 100% in a dogfight this season. What even was that tonight? Garbage, so spineless. Tom says, timing of the goals killed us. We looked deflated after the own goal. Still had a couple of half chances later on. Would have took 6 points this time last week. Good rest now till Derby and go again up the blades, up the ramble. Top man. Gaza says his formations and player positions is so amateurish. Interesting. Kieran says, Spud Bros Preston mash the blades. Our game management was really poor in the second half. Never looked in control and heads went down going into half time after conceding. Need to look at the bigger picture though. On to Derby. Yeah, we do, mate. We do. That's fair. Chris says, let's not hear about the playoffs anymore. Even if they beat Derby, we got no chance unless you live in cloud cuckoo land. Paul says, I'm gutted. I'm lost for words. Yeah, Paul, look, there's no wrong with trying to be positive before a game, mate. Don't worry about that. And we'll be positive again before Derby. I'm sure we will. It always happens that way, but it's all right to be disappointed as well now because we should be. That one's on Wilder, says John. I think he has to take some responsibility there as well. Why is caller Lewis's sound always so quiet? I think he whispers. I don't know, to be honest. It's he comes on different frequencies as well, so it's not like it must just be where he is. I might have to turn him up when he's on if I'm conscious of that. So thank you for making me aware, David. Paul says, Wilder blaming Burrows for me is his man management. He knows what will make a player stand up and be countered. He knows Burrows' character. I ain't a Wilder fan, but I trust his man management style. Cooler King says, I don't like to blame bad luck. It wasn't as if the Blades dominated all match and got suckered 3 times. There was only one team in it in the second half. Blaming luck papers over the problems. I agree. Geno says, no way, lol, stop it. Oh, Leeds another 3 points. Another? That's a little bit strong, isn't it? Kel says, such a disappointment. Should have done better. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. Justin says we can't play well for more than 1 half. Beating Watford and Blackburn shouldn't mask the idea that we are back. We aren't, and we are still very poor. Up the Ramble. J. Jamie says, 76 says, City Peck just ain't a championship player, but the persistence on picking him is baffling. You need a serious upgrade in January or the results will just continue. Surely Blades fans can see this. Carl says, on a positive note, we're now scoring and creating. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Top man. Priority, says Stick, is stay up this season. Excuse me. Forward thinking, better planning for life without Wilder next season. Club needs to move on instead of sticking in this one of our own mentality. Wow. Cuz says, I think you need at least a decent right winger and defensive midfielder in January, along with at least 2 good players from the bench. Stephen says, why take Brooks off and leave Ogbeni on? No idea. Must be a fitness thing like George said, but because Brooks hasn't had loads of minutes. But I did not get it. Don't see what he brings to the team. No midfield. Loft says, hey up Jimbo, lad, how's it going? They're very loud tonight. Some at Leeds fans, aren't they? Anyone would think that they've got a result. Interesting. No bottle at all, says TB. Flame Rider says, how Sheffield United was that? Very Sheffield United. Sheila's Wheels says, gutted with that result. Peck needs taking out. Poor tonight. And what does Ogbeni offer? Nothing. Meanwhile, we move on to Derby. Only played 10 games, though. Not good enough reason to be fair, says Chip Butty. Who else has not had a comment read? Maury says, we imploded. Eds went when that first goal went in. Just no one said scored more than 1 goal for the second time. It's progress. Christine says, Campbell was great initially, but then he faded and should have been substituted long before he was. Susie says, trying to work out if we were sloppy due to being sloppy or sloppy because by the time luck gets them back in it, we were knackered after all the minutes. Maybe with better luck, we see out the win, or fresher legs, we recover better from the bad luck. Like a riddle, that, Susie. But yeah, fair play. Thank you for that. Samari and Gyro need to be looked at together, says Gaz Dunn. I may get an opinion on that from you soon, pal. And William Footy Lover says, I really felt we didn't want it as much as them tonight. We weren't fighting as much. The players looked tired. Mark Meldrew says, glad to see Peck's become the new Jack Robinson. It's a joke. Easy to pick on someone, isn't it? It's a collective effort, not on one man. There we go. That's the Mark Meldrew we know and love. Chris, I know Leeds beat West Ham. I could have told you that without even knowing the result, though, because the Leeds fans that are in here giving us some stick. So, Odd Benny does know, says John. I don't know whether that's intentional or unintentional, but it's funny all the same. So, right, I'm going to go to our next caller now. Thank you to the lads who have been waiting very patiently. I'm going to first up go to the man in black. This guy's done. How's it going, pal?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm okay, mate. I'm okay, thank you. You've just dropped a comment in there. Who is it you'd like to see?
Well, yeah, so yeah, we may as well go for that one first. I think, and I don't think Peck's had a bad night at all, by the way.
I didn't particularly.
I thought he did a couple of flicks that were a bit naive, but other than that, generally performed okay, to be honest with you, I thought. But I think now they're both picking up form, picking up fitness. I think Gyro and Samari now, I think at some point he needs to try and play them together, even if it's the last 20, 30 minutes of the Derby match or something like that, and just to see how they do. Because I think Gyro can sit in that little bit of a holding position, and then Samari he's got the ability to pass that ball really well.
Yeah.
And I think that's something to worth looking at going forward, just to see how the pairing does, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I'll only ask you one question on this tonight, because I think it's an opportunity to dish out some praise, even though we're not talking about the footballers themselves. I thought the referee tonight, who we jokingly refer to as Max Lowe, was really good. He is an absolute clone for Max Lowe, though, in the face. But I think you said you briefly knew him or something like that, but you know of him. I thought he had a really good performance tonight. I don't know what your thoughts were, mate.
Yeah, I think Ferraro was class tonight. I think he had a really good game. I think when you go, like you go unnoticed, and I think that is. I think no one is talking about him at the moment at all.
That's right. In a game full of incident as well, where could have been controversial calls for either side, but I thought, like you said, to go under the radar as a ref in those sorts of, and just control it really well. He let the game go as well at times. I thought we were really good tonight, really good. And when we've lost from some difficult circumstances, you wouldn't expect a fan on losing side to say that. He must have done well to gain that sort of praise from us, I think, as Blazers.
Yeah, I think it's the best performance from a referee I've seen in the championships so far this season.
Nice. That is huge praise indeed. So yeah, I think it's easy for everybody to have a pop at refs anytime, really, and you will know that better than anybody. But I do think it's certainly right that we point out when we think they've done really well as well. So back to United then, mate. So he's come out in the post match and he's gone quite strong again. I don't know if you were able to listen to it live.
Yeah, I watched it and I'll be honest with you, I agree with 99% of what he said. I think maybe a bit harsh on Burrows. I get he's gone to take that opportunity, but I just think
I was surprised he checked him again.
Yeah, I just quickly think he can't win there. People will turn around and goes, "Oh, McCallum's unlucky to be dropped. Why we dropped him?" But Burrows came on the last match and did really well.
Yeah, he did.
When he came on, it's
Wilder can't win. You mean? Is that what you mean?
Sorry.
Do you mean Wilder can't win with that decision?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Wilder can't win with
that decision. I think Burrows can't win in that situation because if he doesn't go for the man and he ultimately gets spun, he's tried to go for the ball, but if he doesn't, then somebody's saying, "Why aren't he closing him down?" Yeah. So I think he don't win in that particular scenario. I think he's been scapegoated a little bit for the first goal. I think you can't blame him for the second goal because it's Campbell that loses his man. But by the same token, I don't think Burrows was very good second half at all.
I'll be honest, I thought he was dire second half.
Yeah, so you can't
take the goal away. The first goal
even if you absolve him of blame from some of the key talking points in terms of you can't necessarily blame him for the goal or whatever. I still think he's massively underperformed second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think we're unlucky with the second goal. Let's be honest. McGuinness, all right, people say you should just put it in Rowe's head. Let's not try and do a Chris Morgan, as they say. Let's try and keep the ball, and that's what he's tried to do. And then, obviously, once he's out of position, me stuck with two in the middle, and it's like, where does he go? Does he go pick up Jebo? Or I think it was Jommy. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah,
he's stuck in a rock and hard place. He can't win either way because you're going to say, why didn't you pick him up if the ball
to
Jebo went to the other striker? So we're unlucky there. I think we're unlucky with the own goal. I think chances. I think Samari needs to take that chance. He needs to try and get over that ball. I think that's unlucky. But I think there's good points though tonight. We were good, and I mean let's be honest, they had us under the cosh for 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and let's be honest, we're talking about the mental strength of the players and everything, but they've had a mental strength there and shown that they've got that ability. At Blackburn last game, and after the first 10 minutes, because they could have lost their heads there and just kept hoofing the ball. They kept trying to play football, and from that 10th to the 48th minute, when we concede that first goal, let's be honest, we were getting the bruise out. We were all thinking this is going to be good. This is 3 wins on the bounce.
Yeah, we were. We were coasting at that time, weren't we? And
absolutely coasting.
Loving life.
But then second half, worst time to concede. Come out, McGuinness gives an absolute stupid foul away for no reason.
Yeah.
It then comes in the box, and then after that, second half, I didn't think we were good at all.
I agree, mate.
I think we just lost our heads a bit.
I know you talk about they showed a strong mentality to overcome that first 10 minutes when they were under caution. I agree. We were able to be resilient and come back into the game and sort of force ourselves onto the game. But do you worry about how this game's gone, how it affects their mentality going forward?
I'll be honest, I think because we've got a big enough gap, I think there's time to park it and try and park it. And I think that's the way they're going to go about it. Wilder's come out and said, no, 6 points from 9 is not good enough. Forget the other 6, the previous 2 wins. It's about this game and this game only. Yeah. And I get that, but I think after a couple of days, he might reflect on that and might say different to the players. He might come out still pre-match next conference on Thursday and say something and keep that same line. But I think behind closed doors, he might change that.
Yeah, possibly.
Because let's be honest, we all said it. We would have all took 6 from 9.
We would.
You know what I mean?
It's the circumstances in which it's happened, isn't it? If they'd have gone 3-0 up and we pull it back to 3-2, then I think we're all quite accepting of 6 points tonight and sort of saying we let ourselves down to go behind, but then we've fought back. It's because we've chucked it. That's what the disappointment is tonight, I think.
And it could have. Let's be honest. We could have been 4-0 up.
Yeah, we could.
We generally could. We could. Every time we looked for that 30 minutes, 35 minutes going forward, we looked like we scored every time. We had some good opportunities when the ball's just not quite dropped correctly for us. I think O'Hare's had a couple of chances. Campbell's had a couple of chances. But one thing I will say is, just going on to another point, is Cannon, get rid. Absolutely.
Fire the cannon.
Yeah, get rid. Honestly, get rid. Stop playing Ings. Other than I've never seen Danny Ings, unless somebody tells me otherwise, not be just an out-and-out striker.
It's hard. It's hard, isn't it? Because I know you respect Wilder as well. It's just I can't justify that. I can't justify Danny Ings in the 10.
And if we can send Barry back now, can we send him back?
Oh God, mate. I know.
That is dire. And one positive note, actually, another positive note is Brooks. That is probably the best I've seen him play in a United shirt for a long time.
I thought Callum O'Hare, he's getting a lot of plaudits, understandably so. Love that. But Andre Brooks, I thought was great tonight.
Yeah, really, I think he's unlucky to come off. Maybe it's because they don't want to overdo it with him too quickly.
Possibly.
Because I think I would probably have him as my man of the match. I know probably a lot of people got Callum O'Hare, but I thought for 60 minutes,
I agree.
I thought he was really good.
I agree. I thought it was great.
Quality.
Guys, thank you so much for joining me, pal. I'm going to let you go now. And thank you for being so patient as well, waiting for me to come to you, because I know it's been a long time you've been waiting. But
no, it's fine, pal.
You just love talking about United, don't you? Come rain or shine. So
exactly.
Win, lose or draw, mate, we'll still come back for more. So catch you soon, pal. I'll speak to you in a bit. Straight into our next caller then. It is the positive one. Be positive about that then, pal, if you can. Oh, is he there? Can you see me, mate? Can you see me all right? Can you see me? Oh, see, not even Brett's got a positive word to say about this. 5. Give us a count now. 4, 3, 2.
Oh.
Are you here? Are you here? Oh!
Can't hear you, Jimmy.
You can't hear me? Have you muted me? Have you muted me? I'm going to leave. Do you know what? I'm going to come off this screen so it don't confuse people, but I can still hear you in background, so you should be able to hear me. You should be able to hear me. Anyway, I'll jump in some comments while Brett's looking very confused. Let's have a look. What comments haven't we had? Can you see me? Can't hear or see me? Hang on a sec. See if this works then. Bless you. We'll get you, mate. Don't worry. Is that any better? Can you hear me now? Anyway, I'll keep talking, and if Brett can hear me, then he can start talking and let me know, and I'll switch back to him. Sadie says, "Thanks for Jack Robinson, by the way." I have no idea why we brought him in. Should have seen the red flags when he should have been sent off playing against us. Sadie, I took so much stick for my Jack Robinson critiques, and I understand that when you have a player playing for you, you should show loyalty and you want to back him. And generally, as you've seen, I do. I'm not going in really hard on Tom Cannon or anything like that, but Jack Robinson, and it was when we had Jack Robinson, we were a top-end championship team or a bottom Premier League side. He's not. He's a decent championship defender, I think. That is his level. I've said that a few times now, so I won't keep going on it. But Dave the knows, he really knows. Hopefully, back fit and fighting again for 3MB on Sunday, but you let me know, pal. Just jumping on as I wait for my food before the drive home. What a difference in halves. Preston, excellent in the second, to be fair. 2 points a game from the last 3. Will be fine. Great to watch the game with Jamie Dumpling. Looking forward to 3MB on Sunday. Loads to talk about. Looking forward to seeing you, my mate. Looking forward to that. Dave the Nose belongs in 5 PB. Is it 6 PB? So we're in danger of losing it, I think. Like Tufty says, Paul says, we go again. An odd Benny wasn't a typo. Nice. Odd Benny. Mark says, what did you think to the Armstrong tackle on me, which went unnoticed? Thought it was a bad one he missed. I'm sorry I didn't ask Gaz. That's clearly for Gaz, isn't it? I should have asked him that. Yeah, we commented on it on the watch along. I thought it were written naughty, to be honest. S8 says, really disappointed tonight. We've got no personnel. We've got the personnel, but tactically off it. No one up top. Ings wasted in the 10. No firepower coming off the bench. Just looks like we're mentally weak right now. Can't disagree. Ings is wasted in the 10. No doubt about it. Brett, can you hear me yet, mate? Hello, my mate. I can see you. I'm bringing you on screen for people to see, but I don't think you can hear me, can you? Bless you. I love your gear, though. Can we admire Brett's gear while he's on? Blades Ramble, beautiful downtown Bramall Lane. Love that. I don't think it's going to work tonight, pal, for you. Professional as ever, love it. Hey, not my problem, this one. You've seen that yourselves. You've seen callers come on. That is a positive Keith problem, that I think. Nobody's slated Brooks as much as me, I don't think, but the last few games in a different position is half starting to win me round. Brilliant. PB just keeps on growing, says Gaz. Certainly does. We need Gustavo Hamer back. We miss his quality. We hadn't done for the 2 games previous, but every team would miss a man of Gus's quality, wouldn't they? Correct decision. That's all, says Gaz. Andy says, I'm amazed how poor we've been defensively. You'd think with 3 at the back, including me and Tanganga, we'll be solid. We're pulled apart time after time. Brett says, I think I'm going blind and deaf. Did we win? No, mate. Mr. V, thank you so much for gifting Ramble memberships. Absolutely brilliant from you, as always. Mr. Vancouver being really kind. So Ben Oldfield's got one. Shires, he's got one. Don Blade's got one. I have to say, Brooks looks miles better on the left than on the right, like previously, says Mark. Ogbenny, not the answer. Did one good thing, tracking a run, and that's it. Bryce says, nice one, Mr. V. We're going to have one last go at getting Brett on. No, he's gone. Unbelievable, Brett. You've ditched me, haven't you, at the last minute? We'll see if we can get you. If you want to jump back on, then we'll see. Are we starting to miss Hamer, says Dom, who's just become a new member, thanks to Mr. V. Especially with that Danny Ings free kick at the end. Gus sticks that in the top bins, in my opinion. Oh, he's done it before, hasn't he? But you can't ever guarantee it's going to be top bins every time. Up the blades, up all the rambles. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Mr. V. He says, absolute legendary blade and rambler. Up the blades, up the Mr. V. Absolutely right. What a top man, Mr. V. Let me go back to some comments that I'd missed earlier then. Don't know if I read this. I felt we didn't want it as much as them, says William, tonight. We weren't fighting as much. The players looked tired. Yeah, a few people said they've looked tired. Look, it's 3 games in 6 days, but it's also the same for Preston, isn't it? So there's no reason to look any less fit than them. So that's fair. Hang up. We're going to have one last try at this. Can you hear me, mate? Oh, he can hear me, I think. I think he can hear me this time. Wait, we'll always come on a different thing. That's why it's not worked on there. Let me work this out then. Brett, you're making me scramble all around. Put the things I do for you, pal. Let's have a look. I'm hoping we get a positive spin to end on, but I'm not putting all my eggs in that basket. Don't worry. We'll wait and see. Hang fire. I know you can hear me now. So, right. We've got 10 minutes left of the show. And to bring us, hopefully, into a more positive mood, it's Positive Keith himself. It's Brett. How's it going, pal?
All right.
Yay! What, we're up there? What? Why couldn't we get you?
I could hear everybody else, all of the callers. Just couldn't hear you.
You couldn't hear me?
No. I could hear Mark and everybody, but I just couldn't hear you.
That's weird. Oh, that's a shame that you had to listen to Mark instead of me. Oh, no. What a nightmare for you.
He tempered my outlook, even though he weren't that bad today.
Now, Brett, you are notoriously positive. I would... Look, there's some very positive blades in our chat, and I wouldn't like to make it a hierarchy of any kind, but I'm going to say I think you are the leader of the positive blades. I'm going to put it out there and say that. And that may upset Lewis. That may upset Lewis or Mr. V and Dave Morwood, who I think they like to be positive.
It's positivity by committee. I think that's what
Yeah, it is. It is. Mr. V and Dave Morwood have been long-term supporters of the channel. They've been Platinum Ramblers for a long time, but I think they like to be positive, but I think they're more level-headed blades than you and Lewis, who are sometimes blindly positive. Lewis came on tonight, was very good. Was very good at sort of focusing on what was good. Talk to me tonight, mate, about how you can put any sort of positive spin on what's happened at Deepdale tonight.
I think, like I said, first half we were really good. I think second half, Sayers must have been invited into changing rooms to get team talk. So,
he don't get team talks. He don't get team talks.
Well, yeah, just let him out. But I think the worst thing today was just the timing of the goals. Like, the worst time to concede a goal is just before half time. Second worst is just after half time. So it was basically two gut punches, really. But we didn't play that bad first half. We did all right. Second half, we seemed to. I think after goals had kicked in, we sort of like backed off a lot. We didn't really offer a lot of attacking, and we did look more like we were trying to hit more on attack. You know, we'd had success with Campbell in first half, we're hitting him on break.
Yeah,
I think we tended to do that, but Ogbenny seemed to never beat his man for pace, which that's his main strength apparently.
It's supposed to be.
Time
Not seen it.
Past, no. And that's
in a couple of bursts. I think the Callum O'Hare goal that he got to the byline, he showed a real turn of pace to get there. I think there were another incident where I thought, oh yeah, he looks like he's got a bit, but the rest of it, I could believe it if somebody said, you know, they've lied to us about him being rapid, because I haven't seen it really, certainly not consistently.
I think you said is the difference as well between rapid and having your reaction to needing that pace.
Yeah.
You know, to see when you need to start sprinting. So you've got your acceleration, should I say?
Yes.
And I think that's what lets him down. His top speed when he starts, probably good, but his reaction and when he sets off is probably what he needs to work.
His acceleration might not be the best. Yeah, that's fair.
And Barry, I don't know where to start. I could have played there and stood still. Put me in his position with a balti pie, and I think I'd have been more.
It's so disappointing, isn't it? That element of it, mate. And look, I was joking earlier, and we had a laugh with Lewis as well, that I think you do try and look at the positives, but ultimately we're realistic about what the situation is, and sometimes you have to call it as it is, like you have there. And what did Barry do? What did he contribute? What did Tom Cannon contribute tonight? What did Ogbenny do throughout the game? Andre Brooks, I thought was really impressive tonight. Callum O'Hare, I thought was good. I mean, feel free to jump on and talk about some of the things that went well tonight.
It's like anything. I was having a discussion earlier, and like I said, I try, no matter what happens, I try and take a positive out of something. Because if we lose and I ain't got any positives, like I'm on floor. So I always try and find something. And when Sayers were in charge, that was 6 games I walked out of there, and
hard watch, weren't it? Yeah, hard to. Yeah,
and it's hard to get people to understand that if you weren't there at them games, it's like, cause even the little bits that not highlights, whatever, but you just couldn't see anything. And there is positives, like we look a lot more better attacking, we're scoring goals, like, and especially like I said with Campbell today, like he's been accused recently of hiding football, like not wanting it or anything. But today, it looked like he actually played on shoulder at defending, wanted to see it, passed on him through it. And O'Hare played brilliant behind him. He sent through balls through him, and it was really good.
I think him and O'Hare worked really well together. And I think first half, Campbell were very good. I think second half, it was another poor performance.
I might have a bit of bias there, but this stick for Peck, I just don't see how you can dig him out. Fair enough, he probably didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great second half. But not many players did.
I agree. He didn't stand out to me as being poor. I think Burrows stood out. I think Campbell dropped off, probably more expectedly, dropped off because I think there's a fitness issue around Tyrese Campbell. Yeah. But Burrows and Campbell were the ones that stood out to me as having a poor second half.
I don't think Peck. To be fair, I had an argument with my dad earlier. Well, not an argument, but a heated debate. And he was saying, because he watched your watch along, he said, well, Jimmy said you were rubbish and we're doing this. And I said, but and the other side of it was, I thought that he tried taking responsibility for things. Like, he didn't play great, but he always tried having a shot. He always tried getting beyond his man or running at it, and he did track back. Just bits didn't come off for him. Do you know what I mean? So he did have a bad game. I can't say he played well, but I appreciate the fact that he wanted to. He didn't go hiding, should I say? And that's what I hate sometimes from players. If your confidence is low and you didn't look like you stand with your marker because you don't want ball, that annoys me more than anything. And that's why I like Peck. You never see Peck hide.
Gordon got it right first time.
Oh yeah, he loves you.
Feelings mutual. If he agrees that
I was so drunk when you were sliding with triples the other day.
Right. So, mate, look, it's a shocking. Whatever you're right that there are elements of the game that you can look at and think, well, that was okay, that were all right, and certainly like Brooks' performance, Callum Ware's performance, really good, and you can look to those sort of players to lead you through, I suppose, in certain elements, but. How do we bounce back from such a devastating loss when you've had it in your hands? You're 2-0 up. You go to 3-2 down. I think Gaz nailed it a little bit when he was saying they've got long enough now. They've got a break. They've got a period of time now where they can try and get it out of their minds rather than they're not straight into another. I think that probably plays a part in it. What has he got to do now to pick them up from tonight?
Well, it's Wilder, and I don't mean that in a general sense, as in his biggest strong point is the fact that he can motivate players. He can get certain players to run through walls. And I think, like you said, I think as well, when he dug Burrows out earlier, I think he did that same as Gaz says, because he knows he can take it. I think he thinks that he'll respond better by doing that. And the way he'll approach it, Wilder, is he'll do it individually. So he'll treat certain people in different ways because he knows the team and how they can get there, and that's what makes him good. But we didn't, like I said, first half. If we play like the first half, we'd do all right. It's just, I think the timing of goals just knocked wind out of us, and we couldn't get back after that second goal went in and they equalised.
Shocking times to concede, isn't it?
Yeah,
for momentum of the game and trying to keep your head up, it's really poor. Brett, I love it, mate. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for being so patient with us, because you were waiting for a long time, and then we find out that you could hardly hear anything, and we nearly lost you. But I'm glad you stuck with it. And I'll catch up with you soon, pal.
Just stick with it. Like I said, it's only one game. Got another 40 or however many is to go. We're fine.
30, we're in the 30s now, well into the 30s. But fair
don't be depressing it.
All right, buddy. Catch you soon.
All right, mate.
See you in a bit.
You too.
Nice one, Brett. Top man. Always puts me in a better mood. Talking to Brett. Brilliant. So, Mark Meldrew says, oh, hang on. Don Blade paying it forward here. Don Blade is gifting memberships. Thank you, Don. Very kind of you, pal. Very good. Love that. Let's have a look where we were on the last few comments before we wrap up. Can't help but think Gus would have scored one of those free kick opportunities, says Paul. Paul Davis says McCallum should start ahead of Burrows. Barry is awful, as is Cannon. Samari getting better every game. Don't disagree with any of that at the moment. Sadie says, by the way, you can blame Cal. Everything was going against him while he was watching. Then his internet went down and Preston came back. I'm not talking to him. I've got a voice note I think I need to get back to him from. But Aldi says, hey up Jimmy, wow, can't believe it. Sorry it went pear-shaped. Don't give up hope. I'll be rooting for the rest of the season. Thank you, mate. Andy says, just looked at the stats. They make me feel more positive. If you read just the stats and not the result, you would think we would have won. Oh, interesting. John says, Samari seems hit and miss to me, a bit like Mousse. Nice one, Dom says, Bri. Thank you to Dom, who's gifted some memberships out tonight. Mark Meldrew says, anyone fancy being a member of the Negative 2? Please apply within. Thank you so much for your gifted membership, Dom. As a neutral fan, I really enjoy this channel and will keep the membership up. Thank you, Sadie. Appreciate it. Paul says, I love Brett's black hoodie. Blades Ramble, nice crest. It's quality. I want one. Where can I get one from, Jimmy Matey? Up the Ramble, up the Blades. We have got merchandise available on Amazon. We've also got some available on, what's it called? I think it's like you can get to it from the merch shelf in on YouTube. I really need to get better at the merch, but there's merch on Amazon. If you search Blades Ramble on Amazon, you'll find it. Mark says, well said, Brett. Don't know what game people watch me. Aldi says, all you Blades fans, I hope things get better for you and good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you, mate. Andy says, my issue with Peck is I don't see what he brings to the team. What are his strengths? What is he good at? I ain't got long enough to get into that now, pal. Brett says, I'll join the negative too, Mark. Just like to be included. Oh, dearie me. Andy says, sorry I sound so negative. I travelled all the way to Preston for that. Isaac with a £2 super chat. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Great stream as always. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, on to Derby. Love that. I am happy to join Mark. So Matt's going to join the negative too as well. Look, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us tonight. We are getting really close now, aren't we? 994. Let's have a look. 9948. 52 away from the big 10K. So thank you to everybody that continues to support the channel. It's very much appreciated, even at times like this. And, you know, it's not always easy to come on after a crushing defeat. And it is a crushing one tonight. But we've got a bit of time now with the players away from the pitch. And, yeah, we'll get ready. We'll dust ourselves down and go again against Derby, won't we? Derby at home. It's another big opportunity for Sheffield United to try and pull themselves away from trouble. Who thought we'd be talking like this at the beginning of the season? But it's the situation we're in, and we've got to respect the position that we're in as well. And nothing is a given in this league. As we've seen tonight, you take your eye off the ball for 45 minutes, and the game can completely change. Or 50 minutes, I think it's fair to say. Yeah, we'll go again, as we always do. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades!